All right, here we go. Eh, um, I wasn't planning to go live tonight, but here we are. So, I'm doing a reading tonight that is something that I'm barely familiar with. Well, no, that's not true. It keeps showing up in the news. I keep seeing it, and I guess I don't need these. Um, yeah, am I live, by the way? um, yeah, so George Santos, who I kind of know of, and it just keeps popping up in the news that he's going to be sworn in, I believe, today. I'm filming this the evening of January 3rd, and got some lovely siren ambient noise in the background. And yeah, so I'm going to do a reading on George Santos. This is one of those readings that I'm just like, I'm doing it for myself as much as anyone because I'm really curious. Like, this is one of those things that when something pops up in the news that I'm like, how's this going to turn out? Because it just seems like it's ready to detonate or something. Something's going to happen. By the way, oh, hello, Rainbow. First comment. Welcome. I don't know if Lisa's here yet, but she mentioned last time that not subtitles, closed captions were not working for the live. And I kind of looked into it. And so the situation is with the videos that are no longer live, there should be subtitles that you can add English. I don't create them. It's all auto-generated by YouTube. And but I did find though a button on the stream settings. So it says closed captions are on right now. So if got anyone wants to test it and let me know if closed captions are working and they're accurately sometimes I looked at some of the closed captions and sometimes they're a little off, but I guess it's better than nothing. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully they're active live and the AI at YouTube are actively captioning this video with my exciting dialogue, and hope for those of you listening that the audio and video are okay. All right, so let's get started with this George Santos reading. I think basically I'm just kind of want to know is, I think today it's probably like, let me think, it's morning. Wait, is it morning right now? I think it's probably like late morning in New York time. So I think George Santos is going to be sworn in today, as far as I know. And yeah, it's evening here. So let's see. I kind of want to see if let's take a look at that first. And this probably won't be a very long reading, but I just want to see if what is there going to be any incidents? Could somebody like violently attack him or something like that? I don't know. Or will it go through clean and silver? And then after this, I'm going to look at his 2-year term as a representative in the House of Representatives. That's what he's for, right? He's not a senator. Yeah. So 2-year term, and see if he is going to be able to complete that term, or if any of these investigations into his lies are going to somehow prohibit him from running. I mean, from staying on. All right. So, closed captions are working. Excellent. Thank you, Rainbow. Yeah. So I will make sure from now on that I have those turned on live so that people who want closed captions can now enjoy it live as well as after the fact. So I'm glad. Thank you, Lisa, if you're watching this video later, for bringing that up, because I thought I wasn't even aware that they weren't on. So I'm glad that they're on now so that more people can enjoy. Okay, so let's look at today George Santos. If that process is going to go through pretty smoothly today with his being sworn in, or if there will be any impediments or yeah. So I'm sure people watching this, there are people out there that are far more familiar with this election than I am. I'm not in the U.S. right now, so I'm just kind of watching it from afar. And but if you have any specific questions about George Santos, let me know. So yeah. So first, let's look at his swearing in today, if that's going to happen. Or I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen, but we'll see. Maybe sometimes surprising things happen. That's the nature of things. Okay, so I'm seeing the that's kind of interesting, a 2 of Pentacles card, which is yeah, it seems like a process that's continuing and going forward. And But the thing is, this card kind of reminds me of handcuffs. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't see. I see that continuing. I don't see as a pentacle card. This is about material things, not about uh, violent emotions or anything like that. So I think this will go ahead. Although in the background there is like the ocean, which is pretty wavy, which I think is basically all the emotions around this swearing in and his election and so on. So I think there's a lot going on in the background that is well. Let's keep reading. So I think my intuition is that it's not over with his investigation and whether he will be able to continue his 2-year term. But let's see that. That'll be the next thing I look at. So for his 2-year term as a representative, will he complete those 2 years? And this is my first reading of the year, by the way, and I hope to come back with more. The last thing I did last year that I finished off the year with was an energy reading, or not a reading so much as a manifesting exercise that I really enjoyed. It was something that I'd never done before on the channel, and I think I may try something like that again. I think I could do it for things that people want to bring into their lives. For example, wealth, health, relationships, whatever. I can do a focus on each one. So if you have any suggestions for things you'd like to manifest into your life, I can do. It's kind of a combination of. I keep dropping cards. It's a combination of reading and kind of invoking. When you're using the cards in that way, you're drawing energy into your consciousness and bringing that into the world. So I think that can be done with anything, and I'd like to experiment with it more, because I think when I open myself as a channel to it, I benefit, but you benefit too, hopefully. That's the idea, is that we all benefit. So if there's anything, I think, I can focus on specific things. Health, wealth, and relationships tend to be the 3 main categories that I work with, but anything, really. So yeah. So anyways, back to this reading on George Santos. Let's look at his next 2 years. Oh, what? I didn't mention. Let me mention real quick, because sometimes I forget. I do private readings. Voila. Oh wait, that coupon code is no longer valid, so ignore that. Where's my regular listing? Actually, I'll put that up, but this coupon code is dead. Don't use it. I will probably generate a new coupon at some point, just to reward anyone that goes to it through there. But this coupon is no longer good, alas. And but you can always contact me directly if you want a reading. Anyways, we'll talk about that again some other time. Onward and upward. Damn, am I ever going to read about whether George Santos is going to complete his 2 years? Okay, let's go. George Santos, 2 years. Let me focus. Will he complete that process, or will he complete his term the next 2 years? I'm here where I'm at in Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur for another month, and it's not the ideal setting. Like it's a bit, there's a bit street noise. But you know what? I'm glad to be here either way. So thank you all for tuning in. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm seeing the 4 of Wands for the next 2 years for George Santos, which is, yeah, it's actually a pretty, I would say, successful card. So it's kind of surprising. I think, though, I would say from this that he is going to complete his next 2 years. And yeah, so let's take a look, though, if there's any possibility of any kind of fines or any kind of sentencing relating to this. Like, I don't really know what the law will allow in terms of fraud, or in terms of, like, I think people can lie, but I don't know. Like, if you lie under oath, I don't know if any of his lies were under oath, though. I mean, that's like perjury if you do it in court. But if you're just lying on the campaign trail, that's Isn't that sort of like standard operating procedure for most politicians to at least bend the truth? Okay, so looking ahead for the next 2 years, is there any possibility of any kind of punishment for the falsehoods? Falsehood. That's a nice word for lies, isn't it? A falsehood that he has told. All right, so I'm seeing 3 cards actually came up, which is not usually normal. So I'm seeing is the Fool. I'm feeling like this is him and his attitude toward this whole situation is that he kind of has like I'm kind of like this too. I have kind of a warped sense of reality, but I think when you put it in the hands of somebody in a position of power, it can kind of be a little dangerous. I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles, which is again another Pentacles card showing up, which is I tend to think of Pentacles as a platform card in which there's just like a strong material base. So again, I don't see him being ousted from power or any kind of major punishment, at least in these next 2 years. And then I'm seeing the Seven of Cups, which is I think basically what I'm seeing from this is that he is basically going to remain in power, basically as long as he kind of addresses his base, which I was seeing with that Pentacles card. And with this, it's like him being able to choose his path forward. And basically if he sees and responds to people, I mean, he's good at this. I haven't seen him too much talking and stuff and acting, but what I have seen, I think he knows how to kind of manipulate people in some ways. So yeah, I don't see, that's kind of surprising to me, but I don't see him basically being punished in a major significant way, because basically he's going to be sworn in, and yeah, it's going to continue. So I think what I want to look at then is basically, is there any possibility after that though? Because it could be, some of these legal processes can take quite a while. And so let's take a look. This will be my last part of this reading. I'm just going to look basically after his 2-year term, what will his general energy be on his life? And I'm seeing all right. I'm seeing a Page of Wands, which is an initiation, like a leading into a process of the Wands energy, which is all about this really fiery, creative. When I say creative, and with a lot of politicians, I don't mean creative in the way like somebody writing a novel or writing a symphony or something is creative. It's a different kind of creation. It's kind of like you're casting your view of a reality on the world, and that is an act of creation, but it's more just like a verbal situation framing of the world, which politicians are usually very good at. So yeah, it's a bit surprising to me that like he's basically, I don't see him suffering any major impediments from his lies, which is interesting. So yeah, interesting reading. It surprised me, but I think I'm going to keep this one kind of short, but thank you for joining, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. I'm going to start doing these more regularly, I hope, and continue these because they're lots of fun. All right, see you later.